Hey y'all, welcome back to my channel. It is Monday night and I'm about to make some hot Italian sandwiches. So I just have these hoagie rolls that I picked up from Kroger's and I'm going to split some open and I'm going to stuff them with some ham, salami, and pepperoni and some mozzarella cheese. And after I have done that, I'm going to come back and show you what I do next. So after I made my sandwiches, I just spread on some butter. And I also sprinkled it with some Italian seasoning. And I only had two here because we just came back from my in-laws' house and she had pizza for the kids. So that's what they had. So I'm just going to wrap these sandwiches up and then I'm going to throw them in the oven at 350 for probably 15 minutes. Here's what they come out looking like. And I know it's going to be delicious because I've made them before. And I'm serving it with some fries that I cooked in my air fryer. And it is just the Rally's brand. And I was pretty excited because I got this whole big bag for $2 because I did a Walmart grocery pickup and I had ordered the Great Value ones and they were out. So they substituted these for the same price. But yeah, I will see you guys back tomorrow. I'm making meatloaf, so this is something that all four of us love. I have 1 pound of ground beef. The recipe calls for 2 pounds, but I'm cutting this recipe in half. I also have 1 beaten egg, some ketchup, crushed Ritz crackers, milk, salt, pepper, onion powder, and garlic powder. And I'm pretty sure that's it. You could put onions in if you wanted to, but I don't like onions, so I'm just sticking with the onion powder. I'm going to get this mixed up. I have my gloves on. And once I have done that, I'm going to put it in my greased meatloaf pan. And then I'm going to come back and show you how long I'm going to bake it for. So I've got it in my pan and I'm going to put it in my oven at 350 for 45 minutes and then I'm going to pull it out and I'm going to put together a little sauce, which I will come back and show you, but I'm just going to pour that over top of the meatloaf and then I'm going to put it back in for 45 minutes and it'll be done. I just pulled it out after that first half of the cooking time, and as you can see there's a lot of grease around the meat, so I just drain that off the best that I can. And for the glaze, all it is some ketchup, brown sugar, and some Worcestershire sauce. The recipe calls for apricot preserves, but I always leave that out. So I just pour that glaze all over the meatloaf and I just spread it out and then I just pop it back in the oven to let it finish cooking. Now it's all done and I always let it sit for at least 10 minutes so that it slices good and doesn't just fall apart. So I served this with some homemade mashed potatoes and corn on the cob. And that was our dinner for Tuesday. On Wednesday we are having these Cheddar Wurst smoked sausages. I'm going to go and cook them on my grill and then I'm going to come back and show you what I serve with it. So I'm just using Riley's plate because I like how it has the little dividers in it. So I'm just serving those smoked sausages on a hot dog bun. And for the sides, I have some Bush baked beans. It's just this tiny can because I'm the only one that likes them. And then I also made this potato salad, which I'm going to show you next how I put that together. So I just peeled and diced about 1 pound of potatoes, and I also boiled 3 eggs, and I just gave those a dice. And then to coat all that in, I have a mix of mayo and mustard, and I just mix that together good. And then a lot of people use relish. We don't like relish, so I just diced up a few dill pickles, and then I just put that in the fridge while I was boiling my potatoes. So once those potatoes came up to a boil, I let those cook for about 15 minutes, and then I drained them, and I set my timer for 45 minutes so that they could cool down. And once they were cool, I added them into that bowl, and I seasoned them with some salt and pepper, and just mixed everything together. And that is it. So simple and so good. On Thursday, I made chicken and noodles in my crock pot. I have a chicken and noodle recipe video on my channel, but this one is a little bit different, so I'm going to show you how I made it. So I just took 2 chicken breasts and I trimmed off all the fat and I seasoned it with some salt and pepper. And then I took a can of cream of chicken and poured it over the top, along with a few pats of butter. And then in this bowl, I just have a can of chicken broth and about a half a teaspoon of that better than bouillon paste. So I just whisked that together and poured it all over the top of it. And then I popped my lid on and I let it cook on low for 4 hours. These are the noodles that I use. They are the Reams egg noodles, the frozen kind. And the recipe says to cook it in the crock pot for 2 hours after the chicken is cooked. But I didn't have that much time before Josh went to work, so I just cooked it separately on the stove. And I also added in some frozen peas and carrots. So once the chicken was done, I put it in a separate bowl and shut it up really good. And then I added it back into the soup. And then I added the drained noodles and veggies. This was so yummy. We all really liked it, so I will be sure to leave the recipe in the description box. On Friday, we just had leftovers of the chicken and noodles, but I did make this lemon zucchini bread. I made a whole recipe video on it, so if you're interested, I will leave the link in the cards and in the description box. On Saturday, I made some sausage balls. I've been wanting these for the longest time. I make them a lot for parties and get-togethers, and they're always a huge hit. I served it with loaded baked potatoes. Mine has sour cream, cheese, bacon, and some dried chives. I don't like green onions or fresh chives, anything like that, but I do like the dried chives. But I'm going to show you guys how I made the sausage balls. It's super simple. So for the ingredients, all it is a pound of breakfast sausage, an 8-ounce block of softened cream cheese, shredded cheese, and some Bisquick. So I just throw everything in my KitchenAid mixer, and I just let that combine really good. And when it looks like this, I know that looks gross, but I just roll them into little balls, and this recipe makes quite a bit. So I always have some that I freeze, so I just flash freeze them for about an hour, and then I'll toss them in a little baggie, and when I want to go cook them, I'll just pull them out, put them on a cookie sheet, and just add a few minutes to my cooking time. On Sunday, we went out to eat at Costa Fiesta, and that wraps up this week. I hope you enjoyed the video and got some inspiration for your meal planning. If you are new here, don't forget to tap that subscribe button. Thank you so much for watching, and I will see you all next week. Bye.